Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with this channel or watching this channel for the very first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense because here on this platform, we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions, but not everyone uses logic. So for that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I just want to let everybody know that right now I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who have already subscribed to the channel. It's going slowly. Now I have 189 stops, so I'm inching my way closer to 200. And I really appreciate all the love and support. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media. And a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices. So what I'm going to ask is the following. If you have not done so, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification to all. So therefore, whenever I do prepare content, you will have the opportunity to watch it live or catch on the playback. And I just want to acknowledge the fact that the ever beautiful, ever charming, ever sweet Christina is in the chat. Good evening. I hope you're doing well. I know it's been a long time, but thank you very much for stopping by. Okay. So, and we also have no other than the ever charming, ever sweet, ever beautiful Denisse Gonzalez of Latin Splaining. Now, well, I'm going to ask, not done so. Okay, no problem. Now, I'm going to ask that if you have not done so, please check out her content. She has a lot of great information, a lot of great content. And so I'm going to actually, please show some love to my cyber daughter and subscribe to her channel. And we also have the presence of the beautiful Golden Goddess. Good evening. It seems to be ladies' night here on the chat. And first of all, I just want to say thank you very much. It seems like the ladies are making their presence felt. And I really do appreciate all the ladies. Hopefully some of the men will show up. Now, maybe it's ladies' night. I don't know. We will wait and see. But in any case, as you can see by the thumbnail, the top, and we bring something to the holidays. Please forgive the biblical terms. Speak. Okay. I chose to discuss this topic is because while the holidays can be a happy time for many people, it's also a very stressful time. And it's stressful for multiple reasons. First of all, people have to deal with doing Christmas shopping and sometimes having to deal with other customers and also dealing with sales clerk that's not exactly the most swift in the world, that can cause a great deal of stress. Also, there's the tendency of spending more than you should regarding Christmas gifts, preparation, and meals and whatnot. And also, let's keep it real. For some people, this is not a happy time because they're dealing with the loss of loved ones. Also, they're dealing with loss of employment, loss of relationships. So it's a depressing time. So you have all these different factors causing a great deal of stress. And we, all of us, has fallen victim to this time period. So the whole purpose tonight, of course, with the help of my cyber daughter, Denisse Gonzalez, we're going to share with you some things that will help you to keep your holidays saner. Okay. We're not going to be able to eliminate all the stress because stress is going to be there. What we plan, what we wish to achieve, that if you can take some steps to bring some sanity into your holiday season, it's going to be less stressful and it's going to be happier for you. Now we have to, now one thing we do be must be mindful that there are multiple holidays. First of all, we have Hanukkah, we have Christmas, we have Kwanzaa, um, we also have feast events like Our Lady of Guadalupe, and for us Latinos, we have El Dia de los Reyes Magos. In other words, the days of the wise men, which is our Christmas. And one of the things that makes it difficult for us is that you're right, Denise. You're right, Denise. It's already Christmas. That's why we have El, El Dia de los Reyes Magos and plus the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Okay, so going back to the topic, um, unfortunately, when you take a look at some of these Christmas movies, and some of them, okay, all right, you know what, Denise, I get you. You make your point, and I see here my co-host is here, so let me just bring in my co-host.
Hello, hello.
Good evening, daughter.
How are you?
Fine. How you doing tonight? I hope you're feeling better.
Somewhat.
Okay.
Somewhat.
Well, you do sound a little better.
Yeah, at least I can speak now.
So, have you given much thought about how we can make the holidays more saner?
I mean, I think look, the constant consumerism and the rat race and everything that usually happens is never gonna go away. And to a degree, I'm gonna be very honest, it's kind of exciting, you know it's kind of cool to splurge a little bit during I'm sorry, during this season, and to spend a little bit more in the glitz and glam and the decors and stuff and food and whatever. But I think the one thing that I would say that we have never touched on when it comes to holiday season, right, is Ready for Christmas. I am not. This is a beautiful season. It's a season of closure. But one thing I would say is that hands down creates a lot of stress and it doesn't get addressed enough is the stress caused by toxic interactions with family.
Hmm.
And those things are very real. And I think many people, because society makes you feel guilty when you set healthy boundaries with family members, many people will tend to shame others when they actually uh, decide to distance themselves, because
Yeah.
it can be very taxing for you. Many people expect to just go get a slice of ham or a slice of cake, and you just get a slice of shame, or you just have like this awkward toxic interactions with family members, and it's just very taxing. So sometimes you got to evaluate your mental health and your peace over being in that environment and do something for you. So I think that's
Mhm.
something that people need to focus on the most, which will be this Christmas or this holiday season. I'm going to be in absolute control over how it will go down, rather than just to leave it always in the hands of people that will start an argument that you cannot win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's
True.
something that I think we all need to start identifying, because it's not spoken about a lot. You're often
Yeah.
guilt tripped into having to assist to, go to these events, or go to these places, simply because it's the norm, rather than if it's beneficial or not for you.
Yeah. I just want to acknowledge the fact that Irby and Gigi's in the chat. Good evening, people. And actually, you know what, Denise? You kind of read my mind in a way. Because you know what? Because I have certain things that I think it will be helpful to make our holiday season more saner. Um, One good example of what you're talking about is trying to avoid toxic people.
Are you
Okay.
there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay, continue. Yeah.
No, because I mean, okay, let me tell you. Let me tell you why. Because unfortunately, you made the point you made is sometimes when we go to these social events, we have to deal with people that we prefer not to deal with. People that can push our ever loving, ever blasted nerve. And when it comes to such things like office parties and family functions, sometimes you're going to run to people that you would prefer not to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with what
And
Gigi said when she's like everyone does the fake makeup at Christmas. It's kind of like when people does the same thing in Good Friday. Like, oh my god, like I'm just gonna, go and try to, apologize for stuff or try to make peace with certain people, whatever, whatever. But in reality, you just go back to be the same MFer you were before. That's why I said this whole new year, new me thing. I never practiced that. I'm still gonna be the same MFer I was at 11:51, at 11:59 that I'm gonna be at 12:01. I'm gonna be the same person.
mhm,
It's impossible for me to be different. So
okay,
it's literally impossible. The same person you were at 11:59, you will be at 12:01. Okay.
okay,
So I think it's something that you got to, and it's very difficult when it's significant people. You have to be able to have the strength to stand alone. And I think that's why a lot of people uh don't necessarily do it, because it's out of the norm. And I wish more people would unite during the holidays, based on how comfortable they feel or how they get along with the people that they're reuniting with, rather than just by a family name or because they're related. People will be happier if that was the case.
That is true because I, like the situation with my when my mother passed away. Now my mother, um, she left all she had to me, so I could have just been selfish and just taken everything. So what I decided to do, I decided to give to my remaining siblings and some of my nephews and nieces. First of all, because I didn't want to bother to take all my mother's stuff with me to my apartment. Number one, and number two, I wanted to ease tensions within the family because we were going through a great deal. And you may not know, but I was extremely close to my mother when she passed away, and at one point I had to like shut down with one of my siblings because she was just going. The sibling was just going overboard. Can I have this? Can I have this? Can I have this? Meanwhile, I'm still grieving the loss of my mom. Good evening, Jojo.
Hi, Georgia. Yeah, I think like I said, it's something that I think it's not, like I said, it's not spoken about a lot, and it needs to be addressed even further, you know. People need to start distancing
Yes.
themselves from these encounters. It does not matter how much these people are related to you. You got to let them
Yeah.
go.
That is very true. And I hate to say this, but I have to keep it a book. The members of my family that I prefer not to have anything to do with because they're too much of a negative influence. And when you're considering that, in my case, more than half my family have passed away. The last thing I need is family members being toxic and then trying to create a guilt trip and prey on me and take advantage of the fact that I'm supposedly a nice guy and everything like that. And people, unfortunately, mistake niceness for weakness. And I got news for you. I may be nice, but Denise, you found out with a certain individual how loud I can be.
Yeah, we all saw how you did that one. But in all honesty, like I said, that's one thing that I wish people will like. If you're in this situation, I think this should be like a reminder that if you're considering distancing yourself from that toxic Christmas Eve dinner, make this that sign that, take it as the sign that you needed to actually stay strong and go have dinner with your friends, or plan like a friend Christmas. I think people now are doing Friendsgiving rather than Thanksgiving. I don't know if you guys have heard about that.
This
um
is the first.
well, people are doing Friendsgiving instead of Thanksgiving so that they can spend time with their friends and avoid the slice of shame that they get from, toxic family members every year.
So let's welcome Jojo to the conversation. Good evening, sir.
Hi, Georgia.
Hey Denise, hey Jose. Yeah, thank you very much for the welcoming. But I also wanted to say something on top of what you said, Jose, since I know that you are also another fellow Christian. But there is that part in the Bible which does state that there's going to be like division between like brother and sister, or sister and sister, mother and father, etc. So what we're going through and everything is essentially biblical, and it's just like another core aspect of spiritual warfare. And unfortunately, that's just going to manifest its way into our family dynamics. It sucks, but it is what it is, because with me and a particular sister of mine, she wants nothing to do with me after our dad's memorial service for whatever reason. But that's just where you have to kick the dust off your feet and keep it moving, which is what is also stated in the book of Acts. But I'm glad that the three of us here on the panel can do that very thing.
Yeah. Look, I had to come to the realization that no matter what I do, there's people who, they're just not going to want to have anything to do with me or whatever. And all I can say, using Christian phrase, bless their hearts. But I am blessed with the fact that I do surround myself with people who care about me and love me and accept me for who I am. We have two great examples of that on the panel and also in the chat.
Yeah, man, we're going to support you and vouch for you to the fullest. We got your back.
Yeah.
And
friends
Gigi
are the
asked,
family you
yeah.
pick.
Yeah, and
You
Gigi
know?
asked me whether I think we're in end times. The answer is yes.
Well, I don't know. I don't, because I'm not Christian. I'm actually an atheist, but I
We still love you anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I respect everyone, to be honest, because that's your structure of life. Like, I can't really like criticize any of it. But my thing is that if you think about it, this whole situation, the decay of society in general, what we're seeing right now, it's something unprecedented, in all honesty. And I think the end goal, which is something that I can piggyback from what you were saying, George, or the end goal is to make people more vulnerable to consumerism by dividing people to an extent that they act solo. You get my point?
Most definitely.
So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it keeps disintegrating families to the point that the people that used to bring, like, don't you guys feel like 20 years ago, there was always family gatherings, birthdays that you would see family more often, there were activities and certain things. But now, as years have passed, and the people that used to glue the family together and do these activities have passed away, now more people are solo. Now you don't see your family as often in one setting. You see them after 2-3 years, sometimes even more. Have you guys noticed that?
Yeah, like the
Absolutely.
disintegration of like the family unit, or like disintegration of like wholesome like cultural norms and standards. It's all
Yeah.
like pretty complex, but it's very much of a big thing.
Yeah.
But
And I
yeah,
think
it's pretty sad.
And I think it's out of greed. Like, the more you're alone, the more you will try to comfort yourself with purchasing products. Because you're still gonna want to replace that void. And they already tested it on the women, separating us from men and putting us against men, and they realize it works because we buy more stuff when we are alone. Real estate thrives more when we're alone. Why? Because, in all honesty, you rent 2 apartments, one for the man that's single and one for the woman that's single. And eventually you purchase 2 homes instead of one because they're not a couple. You get my point? I don't know if you guys catch my drift. So now it's being done like this.
It's more so like,
I'm
in other words, more people are just becoming more selfish and like less inclusive, or just kind of less immersed in just their family dynamics, because we were kind of meant to be like family driven, or to be close to our loved ones, because that's just normally why, like, you see people who are alone a lot, though more often than not they're 3 times more likely to fall into things like depression or unhappiness, or incorporate unhealthy like vices just for the means of coping and everything. But then they start to allow like their happiness to be contingent on the wrong teams, like very materialist things. But even if like people are like believer or non-believer, they should still at least say that, like, the spirit is like pure, and that things of like this world are just things of like very fleshly things, are actually not going to be the things that are going to guarantee us happiness in the long term. It's just the wrong contingency to draw upon.
Yeah, it's something that I don't know if you guys have heard about. There were some predictions done, and I think it was 2016. Um, I don't remember the name. When they say like by 2030 you'll own nothing and be happy. And I think we're moving towards that direction to like the point that you will rent everything that you will possess. And the justification for that is that you're not going to be able to afford things on your own. You know,
Do you have anything to
now,
say about that, Jose? Go for it.
yeah, like if you think about it right now, another thing that's being attacked is the parental relationships. I don't know if you guys have catch up on that. A lot of people are not. Parental relationships are under distress. We're seeing more teens killing their parents than ever before. And if that is the case, then we're going to have generations of people that are really going to be in financial distress, alone, and emotionally unstable. Those people are ready to be the next renters of everything and be happy with it.
Mhm. Yeah. One thing, unfortunately, in my family, whenever one of us dies, we always say the same thing. Oh, we're gonna keep close bonds to each other. We're gonna see each other regularly. We're gonna take care of each other. Blah 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 blah. And usually, the family's together for a short time, and then inside of 3 months, it's like it's everything back to normal. We're distant from each other until the next family member passes away. I'm just gonna, you know what? I'm just gonna do the following. If another member of my family passes away, and then someone from my family actually says, "Oh, we're gonna be a family. We're gonna reach out." Blah blah blah. I'm gonna say, "Bullcrap." We say the same thing over and over again, and what happens after a couple of months? We all go our separate ways. If you're really into trying to keep family ties, don't pretend that you do it, because you just make it worse. And and I know, unfortunately, I'm getting a little cynical, but it's like when you have more than half your family passed away, and then the family that's left, instead of trying, you know, keep some close bonds. What they do is they'll pretend to be close, and then they won't have nothing to do with you until the next person dies.
Yeah. I mean, like in layman's terms, Jose, is that if the person's heart isn't genuinely in it, then I don't really want them on my team, because it's almost as if they're just doing it in vain, or just doing
Yeah.
it as a chore and just to quote unquote keep the peace. I'm like, sorry, but the door is right there, and make sure it doesn't hit you on the way out, because I need things to actually happen and be implemented organically.
Hmm. Denise, are you there?
Facts, no fakes. Amen to that.
Yeah.
Hey, Denise.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. But something. Another thing we can do to help relieve stress is make sure we have some alone time. Okay, because we do need time for solitude, to go back to our respective places, to rest, unwind, de-stress, and just trying to bring some sort of inner peace. What's your thoughts on that suggestion?
Come on, can you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
Okay, that we need to have some alone time, individual alone time.
I think that's. I think, to be honest with you, we're having way too much alone time. I
Okay.
think what society needs interaction. Society, if you have social issues and you have no interaction with people, or the interactions that you have lead to problems and loneliness, you got to understand that you probably need to interact with people some more. Because one thing that, and I think I've said this in probably like 2 3 streams before, one thing that people are not understanding is that the concept of introverted individuals is not necessarily a positive one. In the past, when we were growing up, introverts were what, like 3% of the people we knew.
Hmm.
Now it has become a norm, because in the past, when you used to be a quote unquote introvert, you were basically socially awkward. That's what that meant. And people were
Hmm.
shamed for that. And the reason why people were shamed for that is because people that are socially awkward are people that are not regulated. You need peers for a reason. I'm going to explain myself on this. When you're growing up, you need to have friends. You can have your personality in your own way, but your friends keep your behavior regulated. They are the ones that tell you when you're acting up, like, hey, you're acting up on this, or this is not socially correct or a social norm, in order for you to start regulating your behavior. But when you're protected from that and allowed to be a quote unquote introvert, or distance yourself from society, who regulates your behavior so that you learn the social norms that will lead you to healthy interactions with others and take others into considerations, learn how to read the room, learn how to interpret social cues, and so on and so on. No one is there because you have no interactions. Do you get my point? So society in large numbers have accustomed themselves to interact in a synthetic way through social media. And now we have an avalanche of socially awkward people that doesn't know any social cues, that doesn't know that their behavior is unregulated and it's insane, and it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Once virtual reality becomes our reality, people are not going to interact as much. And a lot of skills are going to be lost forever. And it all started with synthetic interactions. And that's why I'm personally against having children be educated by TVs and video games. But that's just my opinion. Does that make sense?
Most definitely. And I
Okay.
actually think that you and Jose actually convey a lot of valid points. Now, we are surrounded by so much stimulus to where, let's just keep it real here, it's going to mentally exhaust us just as much as your good workout in the gym is going to physically exhaust you. We definitely need at least a healthy period to socially and physically recharge, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then at the same time, people are now starting to implement virtual reality, and then yes, like artificial, in other words, artificial intelligence, as something that we become dependent on. That in itself is going to upset the balance and just not really allow us the interactions that we actually need and crave and actually deserve. Because, long story short, we are actually socially engineered creatures that's, you know, like this by birth. So we actually need to continue to keep something like that honed. But then at the same time, again, you have a lot of mental and physical workouts every day. Take some time to recharge, but definitely go back out there and do what you were genetically programmed to do.
Hmm.
Be social.
Yeah. This year, in fact, I'm still right now. I undergoing therapy because I've been dealing with multiple issues. And the reason why I alluded to this is that we need to come to the state where we can accept the fact that we need therapy because unfortunately, some of us, particularly in my generation, we can be very stubborn when it comes to change, and very stubborn when it comes to the fact that we need help, that we need someone to um, guide us and give us a sense of direction. That's something that I have been dealing with um, for the last, I would say, 6 months, um, considering all the mental trauma that I've been through, and some of it I caused myself.
I mean, like, it's really good, Jose, that okay, you're basically admitting fault, and like you're wanting to take like responsibility for that, and you already know in our faith, God exalts the humble, and those who can actually take full blown responsibility, as much as I had to. So it's not something to beat yourself over, but it's just like a really good, valuable lesson to learn and draw from, and then just continue on with your good fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's something that if you look at society today, like accountability is very often avoided. And people think that life, it's, I don't remember who said that, but people think in our society that life is happening to them when in reality life is happening for them. And what that means basically is that life is a series of, in my opinion, it's like a series of tests, right? When you don't pass the test that life is giving you, you will have to take it again, just like it happened in school. So you'll be put in the same situation until you master that skill, and then you can pass to the next level. So a lot of times people keep saying, like, why this keeps happening to me? Why all these things keep happening to me? But in reality, they're happening for you so that you can overcome that flaw. And I'll give you an example. I have a friend that I love like a brother. And I love him very much. He's a very special individual, great heart. But he is unable, unfortunately, to see why he is incapable of having a fulfilled relationship. And he's okay, he's a handsome man in his 30s, that has a lot of knowledge. Like I said, he's very into music. He's a person that plays instruments and stuff. And if he applies some of the feedback that he has gotten from his ex-girlfriends into his life instead of just trying to get angry at it, I'm pretty sure he would be married with children because that is his goal. But the problem is that instead of listening to that feedback, he fights that and then continues to fail. You get my point? So, unfortunately, when we have individuals like this, that instead of just accepting your role in your life, like for example, if like I get lied to all the time
Right,
by my partner, right? Let's just
right.
say that for an example. Okay, every time that you get lied to in a relationship by a different partner, you have to accept to a degree that there must be something that you are doing yourself, that you have a role in the fact that this keeps happening to you, because the only common factor that all those liars have in common is you.
You.
You get my point? Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
hey, Dawn.
So yeah, so
Huh?
so so hey Don Armando, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. How's everything out in the West Coast?
Good, good. Getting colder
Wonderfully
out here.
well.
Yeah, I mean, out here in the East Coast, well, here in Philadelphia, it was raining. Then it was kind of like it was raining today, so I'm just actually chilling.
Chillaxing. That's nice, man.
Yeah.
Um, the topic for tonight is how to bring sanity to the holidays because unfortunately, there's a great deal of tension, there's a great deal of stress. Some of it it's beyond our control, some of it because of action that we created. So
I
what we're
mean,
trying to do is some I'm
I
sorry, go
mean,
ahead.
if you actually look at it, right? I mean, the words the word sanity, right? If okay, you could bring sanity to the holidays, right? But then this is the thing. Depending on your surroundings or anything like that, there will either be there will either be sanity or there will be calamity. So if you, for example, if you hang with a whole bunch of negative people or you see negative things, there's always going to be calamity. But if you distance yourself from that calamity, then you could actually have some sanity with people who are actually sane and like-minded and actually responsible. And yesterday I was talking to my colleague yesterday, my colleague at my job, because I did a live stream yesterday, and we were just talking about kind of like the same things because it's where I'm at, which I'm not gonna actually disclose where I work at, but it's like the ratio mature mature individuals towards immature individuals is like 50 to 25.
Mhm.
So it's like you could try to be mature and everything like that, but then certain people, the immature ones, they want to try to be down and everything. And then the next thing you know, rumors are being pushed. People want to get into your business or whatsoever the case may be. And then after the person they you thought was your friend or whatsoever goes and puts your business out there, either that person will have to leave the job, or that person will have to take the taunts or insults or whatever until in a bad spectrum a fight may occur or something like that. So, and then on top of which is holiday stress, meaning that maybe kids want a gift or a significant other wants a gift of sorts. And then it might even be more pressure for a person that don't even celebrate the holidays. So there's a lot of factors into bringing sanity into the holidays for this year 2022. Since certain people they just don't want to celebrate
Yeah.
the holidays at all. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, and then many reasons behind that. And I think one key to help bring sanity to the holidays, which are the holidays you used to observe, because remind you, we have multiple holidays. We have Hanukkah, we have Christmas, we have Kwanzaa, we also
We
I'm,
have
only have Christmas
the other
because this is we only
I'm,
have
I'm, I'm
Christmas because this is America.
I
Only
mean,
Christmas. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
if
uh,
you if you actually look at it, right,
daughter, 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 I
and
love you, but could you at least I'm sorry. Daughter,
I
I
mean,
love you, but you can at least let me finish my point before you make that statement.
right. I mean, if you actually look at it, and me personally, I've seen people celebrate it, but then when I actually went to New York, I'm gonna keep it honest. You don't see a lot of black people actually in New York actually celebrate Kwanzaa. And if they did, that was like maybe in the early '90s. But then you see it's like, hey, happy Kwanzaa. People in New York, I'm talking about the Bronx, Brooklyn, and everything like that. Blacks, the heck is Kwanzaa? Even the Caribbeans don't celebrate Kwanzaa because we would talk. I was looking into it and everything like that. And the word Kwanzaa, I guess, comes from Swahili. And most of the Africans, if they're not from the Swahili speaking lands, they're not gonna know what Kwanzaa is. So basically, to a point, to I guess for African Americans, they could say that's Kwanzaa. But for the real Africans, I'm talking about the Nigerians, the people from Guinea, Mali, Cote d'Ivoire. I guess you will say it in English, the Ivory Coast. None of them know what Kwanzaa is because around those lands, Kwanzaa don't exist. But that's just my opinion, though.
Okay. Denise, I do want to ask this question, and I'm always curious about it. That how do atheists observe Christmas? Because I mean, I imagine it's a different meaning, or maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, I see it different. I think that you guys give it a meaning that it doesn't have. Christmas is not a Christian tradition. It's a pagan tradition, actually. Um, so I see it just simply like as a brief of the year.
You know,
You
she's
know.
at to my Christ believing brothers. She is actually right on that, and I'm gonna
Yeah, she
explain
is. She is.
because when I was actually looking at a YouTuber by the name of well, he's a YouTuber and he actually talks about the Christian traditions. You should look him up. His name is Michael Rood, a Rood Awakening. He actually details on why we should not celebrate Christmas. So in even though that people could go give gifts and everything like that, even though and I believe in the Lord Yeshua had a Mashiach, I believe that certain traditions I might go with it, but I don't really go all for it. Meaning that okay, I'm gonna be doing this and doing that. I'm like no, because you have to admit there's certain stuff that when you're talking about Christmas within the United States, it's it got a lot of different origins. For example, when I was a kid, I always used to wonder why we celebrate Christmas on December 25th and the Greeks celebrated like maybe the next week after or something like that. But then that's just me. And then when I did some research, it looked like that since the Great Schism between the Greek Orthodox and what is now the Roman Catholic Church, I mean, even though most of us is Protestant, but then Protestants they actually came from I guess they actually broke away from the Roman Catholic tradition. But the Greek Orthodox, I mean, their history, if you actually look at it, they never really went and conquered people like the Roman Catholics did. And their religion, I guess, they actually flourished under regimes that was not under Christian, that was not Christian. Like most Arab rulers and everything like that, they had to pay the jizya tax, or some of them they actually survived in India and in present day Ethiopia.
If you look at every festivity that we have, that's majority of them, except for like the Holy Week and stuff, uh are just non-Christian festivities. It was until Catholicism was introduced, and in the commandments the sanctifying of parties or holidays was put in there. That's when they became all of the sudden Christian traditions, when in reality Christmas is no holier than Halloween at all, whatsoever. The Christmas tree in history, the more you look at it, is an altar. So no, it's not. I mean, I wonder how you guys still celebrate it, because I know a lot of Christian people that I've known in my life stop celebrating Christmas precisely for that point.
Um, Actually, the way I look at Christmas, I don't look at it as December the 25th. In fact, for all we know, Jesus could have been born the 4th of July. But for me,
He was
is
born
the fact.
in April. He was born in
Okay,
April.
I know. I'm just giving an example. Um, the fact of the matter is the recognition that someone that I dearly care about, that I love, that I follow his philosophy, came into the world. And in fact, my favorite Christmas hymn is "What Child Is This?" And then there's the second verse of the song, and I'm just going to read to you what it says. Why lie he in such mean estate? Why lies he in such mean estate where ox and ass are feeding? Good Christian fear for sinners here. The silent word is pleading. Nails, spear shall pierce him through. The cross be born for me and you. Hail, hail, the world made flesh, the babe, the son of Mary. See, to me, that's the real significance of Christmas. Not that 350-pound man with old decked out in red riding an 8 reindeer going over the world and give Christmas presents. To me, and I mean to me, that's the meaning of Christmas.
I mean, I was I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was like, "Oh, you don't celebrate?" I'm like, "Don't you know that these are pagan traditions?" And I'm like, me personally, I just it's like I don't really do certain stuff, even though certain people be around me. I might just go with the flow, but me personally, at the end of the day, I just you know, don't do certain stuff. And one of the certain stuff that I stopped doing was in 2013 I stopped eating pork. And I don't try to eat pork like that or anything like that or any of that matter. And some people be like, "Oh, well you're different because you know you don't eat pork." I'm like, "Okay, well, there's a lot of people who stopped eating pork or they stop eating meat in general. Does that make does that make you less of a person just because you did that? I don't think so.
Are you a 7 day Adventist, Dormando?
No. I'm
Oh,
a
okay, because
I'm a
I don't eat pork, but it's because I grew up as a 7 day
oh
Adventist.
no. I just it's like
Okay.
this. Even though the church that I go to now is evangelical,
Okay.
I was baptized Anglican, but due to certain stuff that the United States Anglican Church was doing,
Hmm.
and it was not going towards scripture. That's what I'm going to say. I stopped
Okay.
going to the Anglican Church. I was
Oh,
going to a church in Jersey with my ex, but during that time, um, it was good and stuff. But then my ex at the time, she didn't want to go to the church because of whatsoever reason. And then years later, our relationship broke apart. So
of
I
course.
was
You have those structures, and they're different.
yeah, it was like her structure was her structure was okay. All the stuff that she knows about Christianity she got from her mother, or what her mother says, right? Or
Hmm.
like, oh, you shouldn't visit the graves or something like that or whatsoever. And I and me and my mom used to have discussions about that. I was like, can't visit a grave. I mean, Jesus even went up and wept for Lazarus. So there was a lot of stuff that doctrinally that me and her didn't really get along with, and that was a part of why I had to break up with my ex. And it was a lot of personal problems too, because I actually felt that I was not actually progressing in life, and I was just in a stagnant ghetto mood. Or
God. Yeah, it's hard to be in a relationship with people because it takes a lot of maturity and respect. Like for example, me and my husband, we don't have the same religious beliefs. He's a Christian, I'm an atheist. I respect his religion 100%. And he
right,
respects my views 100%. He doesn't get offended when I say that Christianity is magic, and I don't get offended when he says that atheists are cowards. You get my point?
right.
So it if there's not that sense of maturity, which is very rare, it's
I
better
mean,
not to continue that relationship.
at the end of the day, me and my lady, and then even though I didn't really have a home church, I was actually leaning towards messi- messianic Judaism or
Oh, so you want to
something
be
like.
one of the little hats.
No. Um, it's like, okay, the way that I see it is that you have certain people that that they wanted to at least incorporate Hebrew beliefs within Christianity or whatsoever. So that was part of the reason that I actually gave up pork. And
Okay.
it was like the more that I was reading and stuff like that, because it was a cousin of mine that actually introduced me to it, the more that I saw that certain traditions were the same. Don't get me wrong. I still believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, but it's just that certain traditions, if you actually read the Bible, it's not there. So,
Mm-hmm.
like for example, Easter, right?
Uh-huh.
I like back in the day, there was like, okay, my mom was very big on Lent and everything. And Lent, I and there was like, oh, you're supposed to give up something for Lent. Okay, by the time I got like 20 years old and I was, street, and I was in the streets, I was like, to me, Lent didn't make any sense because you always have to give up something. And then when Lent started, my birthday was always near Lent or something. So there was like, oh, you can't party. I'm like, I can't give nothing up. So after a while, after I started listening to Michael Rood, it was like Lent is not even a biblical practice. When I saw it, I'm like, I'm good because like, yo, Lent, I couldn't even do Lent. I'm gonna be honest. Even though
Um,
my mom went through it and everything like that. When I got older, I was like, nah, I'm not with Lent. So, and me and my sister, we was
excuse
actually
me.
talking about it. It was like, yeah, Lent. I was like, yo, Lent is not in the Bible. I was like, for real? I was like, yeah. It was like, man, I never really liked it either.
Okay.
So,
E- Excuse me. I just want to acknowledge that the presidents. I need you to rehab this in the chat. Now, I'm I'm a practicing Catholic, but when it comes to the season of Lent, I don't look at it as what I'm going to give up. I look at it as a time for reflection, a time to study myself and see where I stand as far as myself and where I stand in God's sight. And then
What
it's a
is Lent?
time of
Like what?
reflection. So,
That's like Quaresma?
yes,
Oh, you guys don't eat meat. Okay, got it.
but
I
I could
mean,
actually,
never. I
okay,
could never do that. I could
okay,
never do that.
okay. Okay, actually, Denise, there's only in Canada when um, you don't eat meat. Ash Wednesday and Good Friday. And actually, if you have like an outstanding medical condition like diabetes, you're excused from that. Um, and also, there's fasting involved. But you see, with me, I look at it as a time of reflection. Also, the weeks before Christmas, when we call Advent, it's another time of reflection. So I'm not thinking about, okay, for 40 days, I'm going to give up this, or 40 days, I'm not going to do this. For this 40-day period, I'm going to take a look at myself. I'm going to take an honest look at myself and see where I can do better. That's how I
So
observe
one
life.
question, so you guys can only eat fish, no, during that time?
Actually, you can eat, okay, you eat meat. The only days that you don't eat meat is Ash Wednesday, Good Friday, and the Fridays of Lent. And even with that, if you have like if you have like a medical condition, you're exempt from that, from abstaining from, and
Hell
you're
no.
also
I could never let the church dictate when I'm gonna eat meat.
Me
Sorry,
personally,
no
me
sorry.
yeah, me personally, I guess. Well, I know that
okay.
Don Jose is a
You,
Catholic, and I was raised in the Anglican tradition. I'm now evangelical, but it's like, well, me, I don't really follow all that Lent. Oh, we have to eat fish on Friday. I mean, my mom used to follow that, but then after a while, I didn't really follow it. So it's like it was like, oh, okay, you're not supposed to eat this on Good Friday, so have a fish sandwich. Okay, I had a nasty fish sandwich from McDonald's. I'm like, nah, I'd
Yo,
rather
is
go eat me some meat.
yeah. Have a nice steak.
Oh,
if you
thank
have,
you. I mean, yeah.
You cannot even
well,
I think you cannot even use a
actually, no,
hammer in
actually,
certain days. I'm like that. No, no, thank you. I'm
a
good.
what?
A
A what?
hammer. Isn't there like a you're not supposed to hammer nails and stuff like that with certain days?
No, 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 no. That's not no, no. That's not true. That's not true.
Really?
Now,
I've heard that
now the
before,
type of
like
yeah.
legit.
Well, okay. Well, I've been a practicing Catholic most of my life. This is the first time I'm hearing this. Actually, the type of Catholicism I study. Are you familiar with the Catholic Charismatic Renewal?
Yeah,
That's
I kind of am.
I'm one of those.
All right. I mean, when I
Well,
was
Jose,
going,
but you don't have those rules. I looked them up and it says Ash Wednesday and Good Friday are the mandatory fasting and abstinence day for Catholics. On top of that, the Quaresma Fridays are mandatory abstinence days. So for members of the Church
Okay.
of Latino ritual, the norms are mandatory from 18 years old till 59. So you're excused. You already can eat whatever you want.
I
So
mean,
with
I,
abstinence, does that mean that you cannot have sex on those days also?
I mean, if you actually look at it, right
No,
there,
Okay.
I'm just
let's
Okay.
answer
Okay.
that question. So you're starving and sexless.
not really, and I'll tell you why. I mean, I was
Okay.
even though I was an Anglican, right? And I dipped and dabbled into if I was to turn Catholic and such because on my father's side there was they're Catholics, but then later I found out that on my father's side there's certain people who are Protestant also, and then like on my mother's side is they're Protestant. My aunt, she turned Catholic because she married an American Catholic husband. So it's like I don't know what my sister is. I think she is still Anglican. I'm not sure, but my brother is a staunch Catholic since birth, and me, I'm I'm just calling myself an evangelical because I go to the same church as my wife does. So with when it was Lent, my mother had all those rules, but then after a while, you have certain people who are they're Catholics, but they're not how should I say? I guess the religious Catholics. They don't really go by that anymore. And in the olden days, I remember my mom used to tell me like, okay, when a person was Catholic, they always had to be dressed up like in the church and everything. Now, I've been seeing that everybody they just go to the Catholic service with their jeans or whatsoever, and I guess the newer generation they're not as religious as their predecessors.
If I can just address a point, one thing, I don't have statues in my house. I don't,
Oh,
and the
you
reason why
have
I
to.
don't,
You have to,
no,
Jose. You
no,
have to pray to
no,
your
I don't.
saints.
Okay, I'm not your typical Catholic, Denise. First of all, I don't have statues. Number one, because I have never seen the need for statues. Now I have some pictures of the Holy Family, but only because what I got from when my mother from my mom when she passed away. Um, but I don't bow down to a picture. I don't bow down to things of that nature. Um, Now there are Catholics. Okay, there are Catholics that depend too much on the intercession of others. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm gonna keep it 100. But me, I have a relationship with God through Jesus Christ. And in fact, if you were to go to my Facebook page when it says religious views, it's going to say the following: Saved by grace, Catholic by choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Gigi when
So
she says no disrespect, but many treat the Pope like God. Yeah, it's a contradiction. Like if you
Yeah, it
and
is.
I don't mean a diss, okay? So don't take it to heart. What I'm saying is like the
no, no,
the
no, no.
the
Okay, you
the
know what?
problem that I often have with Christianity is that I've never found a single religion that is coherent 100% with the Bible.
Right.
And that is the problem that I have, because you're not supposed to have any type of statues, images, praise them, bring them flowers or anything like that according to the commandments. Yet we have Virgin Mary, Saint Peter, San Friaco, and all these other saints that people praise. And then on top of that, we have someone that it's supposedly God sent Jesus to die for our sins so we could communicate with God directly through prayer. That's what Christianity says, right? So why do we need a priest to communicate for us? You get my point?
Well,
So those are
I
things
got you.
that
Okay,
are just constant and it's every religion. It's not just Catholicism, okay? Like I said, I grew up a Seventh-day Adventist, and there's a lot of contradictions in there. There's a lot of contradictions in a lot of Christian views that if they were to be uh you know put into perspective, you'll realize like maybe certain things I just made up. That's how it is.
Right. Well, guys, I'm about to
okay.
be out. It was nice talking to you on your panel. Don Jose.
Thank you very much for
So
coming.
anytime.
Take care, Don Armando.
All right.
Okay, but yeah, but one thing I try to bear in mind that when it comes to certain beliefs, practice, it's going to seem confusing to some people. Let's keep it real. And again, the key is what I believe.
Yeah, no,
Because in many
I'm
ways,
not confused. I'm not confused. It's just a blatant contradiction that has no explanation. That's what
okay,
I'm saying. The thing is that when you ask those questions, you're often met with aggressive resistance. You get my point?
I understand
So
you.
that is the problem that we have. It's not confusion, because confusion will be, well, you're not understanding this, and I'm going to explain to you exactly what that means. That would mean that I was confused. In reality is that, okay, the Bible, which is the book that Christianity, not just Catholicism, I'm talking about Christianity as a whole, claim to follow, there's not a single religion, organized religion, that follows that book 100%. They all have
Well,
tweaks and stuff and differences to convenience.
well, well, you know what? To be perfectly honest, Denise, and you're gonna find this um, shocking. I mean, a lot of what you're saying, to a certain extent, I agree with.
Yeah. You
To
just
a
have to brush it off
certain
as,
extent.
yeah, because this is my
So
thing. I don't try to grill Christians, because you gotta see also you guys' point. That is a structure of life that works for you. You get my point? And who the hell I am to say don't follow that when it works for you? You get it? So even if it's
mhm.
flawed to a degree, we are flawed individuals. It gives you a structure that makes your life better. Therefore, that's why I respect Christians and their beliefs. Now, when it comes to me, like sometimes when they try to convert me, or it's a different story, because I cannot adopt a structure that I have unanswered questions to. You get my point? But in all honesty, I do respect people that abide by that structure, because that means that it works for them. It just doesn't work for me because of that.
Okay. Well, you see, this is where we made the mistake. Like, for example, I don't try to convert you to Christianity. I might share certain
Yeah.
aspects, but in a way, but not, no, I'm not forcing it down your throat. I also simply saying, this is what I believe, and this is my rationale.
Yeah.
And it's a big difference from conversion.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying you're trying to convert me. I'm just saying, like, when people, Christians out here try to, they're always trying to recruit, because that's how it works. So basically, there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of, because for example, let's take the whole Christmas situation. That all of a sudden, that it's a pagan observation with a full-blown altar that has a connotation that I'd rather just not explain here. But that party, that festivity gets blessed by Christianity. Meanwhile, Halloween gets condemned. And they're just both as bad, as evil, and as Satanist as each other can be. There's no difference.
Hmm.
If you look at the history of Christmas, there's really no difference. They're just as evil. Same with Valentine's Day. So I'm like, why we pick and choose? It's so weird.
Yeah, but
And
but you know what? I do see your point. I do you see your point, and I think it's suffice to say we're just going to be agreeable when we disagree.
yeah, we just
But
have
I do
to.
respect
I
your
think
point
we
of
just
view.
have to. Yeah, we just have to call it how it is. We don't have the answer for that. um it does not mean that everything is completely null and void. Like I said, the structure that Christianity provides to Christians, it's more important than the flaws that the religion itself has.
Mhm.
Get my point? So
I understand.
with that in mind, we can't also judge. And that's something I've seen from the atheist community too. When a lot of atheists believe that Christian people are just dumb, when in reality they're not. They're just that's the structure that they actually prefer. So
Yeah.
so yeah, definitely something that it's worth looking into.
See, that's the reason why when you sharing with me some of the stuff that you're going through in your life, so I'm gonna feel it in my heart to put it in prayer. But before I do, I will ask you if it's okay for me to do that because I do acknowledge you and respect your religious beliefs.
Yeah, I think I'm a different type of atheist. I'm starting to believe that because I am not because I come from the Christian spectrum. So I'm not allergic or hate God. And I think that's the problem with a lot of atheist people. They hate God, they're allergic to it. I'm not allergic to it. I mean, you're basically doing a good deed by using your structure and trying to cover my situation with it somehow to my benefit. So when people tell me that, hey, can I pray for you? Like I always say yes, because that's basically what that means. So I don't know. It's something, again, something worth looking into. It's so weird that people are so polarized. Like either the extreme Christians or the extreme atheists are always at each other's throats because they're unable to sit down, have conversations like this, and come to the conversation in good faith because they have personal issues with those structures themselves. I personally don't. I've seen Christianity do great things for people. I've seen atheism give freedom to people. So I cannot be mad at neither, you know?
Yeah. And they sometimes can use atheists with a good heart.
Most atheists are chill people. It's just that they have a religious issues. They just have a religious issue and they have to get
Okay,
over it.
that's true. Now, one thing that it will help us to bring sanity to the holidays if we have realistic expectations. Okay. What I mean by that, you take a look at your situation where it is, whether it be when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your health, when it comes to your mental state, and you factor all that, and you try to come up with realistic expectations. What's your thoughts on that?
Can you repeat that real quick? Because I was typing something.
Okay, I say it will help if during the holiday season we had realistic expectations.
Oh yeah, it's always. I mean, I think you should not have any expectation in life because expectation
Okay.
brings disappointment. And because a lot of people, and we've all been victims of this. I know I've been for years, and that's how I learned this. um a lot of people program themselves like, oh my god, this, for example, going back to the initial topic, this Christmas is going to be glorious and it's going to be beautiful and I'm going to have a miracle. Or some people say this Christmas I'm going to fall in love, or this Christmas I'm going to get engaged, or this Christmas I'm going to get married, or I'm going to get pregnant, or I'm going to be cured. You get my point? So when those things don't happen, what that brings is disappointment, and eventually it will bring depression. Why? Because
Mhm.
depression, and it's something I learned with my therapist, depression comes from when your reality, which is what's happening, does not meet your expectations. Okay, like the people that have their whole lives planned ahead. Oh, by age 30 I'm gonna have the white picket fence house with the husband or the wife and the two kids and the great job and the nice European car. And when 30 comes and that does not happen because life is harder than you think, and you start thinking about your life, you start feeling like crap because life reality did not met your expectations, and that's when you start getting depressed. And that is the problem with depression. That's how depression starts. When somebody tells you I'm depressed, and I've been depressed before and I can attest to that, is simply because our reality did not match a specific expectation, which is why I believe have no expectations and you'll never get depressed. Live in your reality today.
Interesting. Um, so you're saying we should not have no expectations at all? Am I correct?
No, no, you should have goals, but
Okay.
expectations, no. No
Okay.
expectations whatsoever.
Now, can you define the definition between goals and expectations? Because sometimes they confuse the two to be the same.
Okay, a goal is something that you put your mind to accomplish at some point. Like, for example, I would say if you had by 30, you were like, oh, I'm gonna have the husband or the wife, the white picket fence house and the two children and the nice cars. Instead of doing that, you will say, hey, at some point in my 30s, I will marry a nice person and we will have a decent life, the best life we can afford, right? That is a goal that you
Mhm.
have. And it does not matter if it happened at 37, 38, 39 years old. It happened in your 30s and you will actively work to make it happen. When you have an expectation, what happens is that you stay in the realm of imagination too long and you don't make it happen because you're idealizing what's going to happen and you already expect it to happen. And then the whole concept of people, quote unquote, manifesting something starts to happen. And that's one of the things that I hate the most. And manifestation, you know, it's basically like, okay, when people just pray for you know, for things, there's nothing wrong with prayer, but prayer without action is just words. And for my people, the Christians that are watching, God is watching you not take action and just praying and be lazy. If you want something, I'm pretty sure he will want you to go out and get it with his blessing, which you already asked for in prayer, right? So
Um,
that is the difference between goals and expectations. You have a goal, which is a destination that you're going to go. You don't have an expectation of how long it's going to take you, but you do have a plan that will create steps in order for you to get to that destination. Whereas an expectation is just manifesting something that will magically happen and you will have no control over and you have no responsibilities over that. Get my point? You're expecting something to happen.
yes. Actually, what you just said, believe it or not, is biblical because in the book of James, it talks about faith without works is dead. Okay. It's not enough to pray about something. You need to pray about something and then try to do something to make it a reality. Okay. Um, Thank you very much. I need you to we have for stopping by. Let me just give you a perfect case in point. A couple of times that I've been laid off and I lost work through no fault of my own. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm going to pray about it. But at the same time, I'm going to actively search for employment. Okay. What that means, I'm going to be sending resumes. I'm going to go to job interviews. I'm going to go and I'm going to make phone calls. I'm going to ask around. I'm going to do whatever is necessary in order for me to obtain employment. So what I'm doing is I'm uniting prayer with action. So are you not in phase? Understand what I mean?
Oh, you're cutting off, Jose.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's just, but what I mean is, while I'm praying about it, I'm actually doing steps to obtain work. I'm going to resume. I'm sending resumes. I do job interviews. I'm making phone calls. I'm making inquiries. I'll send emails, things of that nature.
Of course, yeah, you gotta, but that's the thing. You see, your goal is to obtain a job. An expectation will be employed. You see the difference? An expectation will be I'm able to pay my
Yes,
bills. You get my point? I'm able to purchase food. I'm able to put money into savings. That's an expectation. So in reality, like I said, you can't expect things because life is very unpredictable. And then life will always disappoint you. You cannot script life. It does not matter what you do. The more you plan life, the more you get depressed. Life was meant to be lived, not planned. And when people, that's something that I learned. I used to be very anal about planning my life. I was decluttering some of my old stuff, and I found my 2019 agenda, and I even had goals for every day and detailed my life, even the stuff that I needed to pick up at the grocery store and how much I needed to pump of gas and how long the distance of a place was supposed to be and the address and whatever. And I wasn't happier when I used to do that. So to a degree, you have to loosen up a little bit and live life and let life kind of like, you know, take you where you're supposed to be. And you manage life as it happens. But you cannot plan life. You cannot script it. Okay, you cannot. So that is
that's true.
that's why we're having a lot of people with mental illness, because they see social media, for example. Bye, Irby, take care. Social media, for example, we see social
Bye,
media and
Irby. Take care.
we see people that start, uh hey, so what's up? We see people that, for example, start you know comparing themselves to an influencer, right? And oh my god, like on Valentine's, we had I don't know, Jeffree Star received 5,000 roses, by a secret admirer. And in my home, I'm a little, a little girl that's 19 or 22 years old, and my boyfriend that's going to college brought me like this cute little bouquet with 5 roses and 7 pom-poms and 2 carnations. And now I'm pissed because I don't have the 5,000 flowers that Jeffree Star got. Okay. So you're expecting something, you will get disappointed, ruin your relationship with your boyfriend that probably he did not had the money to give you that, but the intention behind it is so much more meaningful that whatever Jeffree Star probably paid for himself, and he doesn't have a secret admirer. But you wouldn't know that because you're constantly comparing your life with another person and expecting their life to be yours. So you will get depressed. You'll start overeating, become a fat person, or miserable, and screw your life up simply because you keep expecting things
Um,
instead of just setting goals.
okay. Let's welcome the 18th letter, and I see that two of my cyber children are here tonight.
What's up, Rakim?
Hey, shout out to my YouTube dad, Jose Negron. Shout out to my sister, Denisse Gonzalez. How you guys doing?
Oh, I'm fine,
We're
thank you.
good, good. Surviving the cold.
You
What
guys don't know what
cold?
cold is on the
Okay, whoa,
West
whoa, whoa,
Coast.
whoa, 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 time out. It is 56 degrees right now in New York. It is technically Indian summer, and it's December the
Oh
7th.
my god. It's hella cold.
Nah, that's not cold. That's not cold at all.
It is cold. To me, it's cold. It's literally cold. My hands are cold. I need a lot of blankets to sleep. It's cold.
Nah, it's big to differ, Denise. Cold is when you trying to. Cold is when you got to run your hands underneath warm water after you've been outside shoveling snow for the last 2 3 hours trying to make some extra cash, like back in the day in the late '90s and the early 2000s, what we used to do. Go to people's house, door to door, and ask if they want their snow shovel for $10. Those was the days. That's back when
Okay.
money was a little bit more valuable.
Hmm. Well,
Cold, cold is when it's like 5 below 0 with a good gust of wind.
no, no. That is Arctic. Yeah, that's Arctic. So, what are your thoughts on what we're talking, Rakim? What do you think that goals and expectations are the same thing?
Um, no, goals is something that you set to try to, get there. You would like for them to be the same thing, but sometimes your expectations can fall short on certain things. But goals is where you would like your expectations to meet. You can say so. Um, but yeah, your expectations can definitely fall short because a lot of things can go wrong, and you can expect something to go right, and then by something can happen in the universe that can cause it to go in another direction.
Actually, the whole topic is how to bring, can we bring sanity to the holidays? Because there's a great deal of stress. There are huge expectations, and unfortunately, they're based on what we see on TV regarding what Christmas is perceived to be, and we have to try to. We're trying to bring some sanity, and we just talk about some things to help make our holiday season saner. And there are some things that we can do to make it saner. So, what's your thoughts on that? Okay.
Yeah, like definitely. I think that if you cannot afford to buy certain things and everything, you do the best you can. Um, let your children know that Christmas is just not all about presents, or the holidays is not just all about presents, but it's about family. Even though some kids are going to be very disappointed, but you do the best you can and you work with what you have to work with to make sure that you all have a decent Christmas, because we know with the way that everything works in society, the holidays is pretty much it's pretty much centered around spending money, and this is when a lot of companies and different people make their money. So they can cost people that don't really have it, especially with everything that's promoted on television towards the holidays, towards presents and what you're getting. Because we noticed that those jewelry commercials really pops up a lot more on television during the holidays. The K jewelers, the different bracelets, diamond bracelets, gold bracelets, and stuff like that. So I say just do what you can. Do what you can, and whatever you have to work with. Because times are hard right now. Inflation is kicking us in the back of the head. So times is very difficult for a lot of people.
Good night, Hazel. Thank you very much for stopping by.
Take care, Hazel.
You know, yeah, one thing that we can agree with. There's a good amount of things that we can do um, to make our holidays saner. Okay, and many of them it's in within our grasp. As far as Denise, suggested, don't have any expectations at all. Uh, to the best that we can, limit our involvement with toxic people. Um, and one thing, one thing it will help if we if we can accept the fact that whatever problems that we're going through, we're bigger than those problems.
Absolutely, I agree. You have to find a way. Problems don't last forever. You have to find a way to overcome them. Then actually they make you stronger in the long run. So you find a way to overcome, and then as time goes on, you remember when you was facing certain obstacles and everything, and you just be blessed to had overcame those obstacles. But I definitely understand like what everybody's going through, because with everything, the prices of everything rising up, Christmas is going to be tough for a lot of people this year. And crime is rising because you got people that's out here that's going to be willing to commit crimes to get their kids whatever their kids need,
Yeah.
and different things like that. And I can understand to a certain extent on how people are feeling, because it's nothing worse when your kids can look you in the eyes for something, especially on Christmas, and you say you don't have it. So I get that part. So yeah, it's gonna be rough. I do agree. You want to stay away from toxic people. That should be a New Year's resolution plan as
Oh
well.
yes.
Um, Toxic people, people that are mentally unmentally fit, and I try to do that on a regular basis. I've been trying to do
Ah,
that for quite some time. So
you're like,
like
this is my favorite sport.
yeah, like I'm kind of well versed in that. So
Oh Lord.
I try to do that as much as I possibly can, because toxic people can bring you down. They weigh heavy on your shoulders, and you don't want
Oh
to keep dealing
yes.
with that. And I'm getting too old to try to talk life into people. If you ain't got it by a certain age, you just ain't got it. So
Yep. Sucks for you, right? Yeah,
Um,
it's crazy because I think that's something that's not talked about, like how taxing that is. Because toxic people can come in many forms. We know that a lot of people call them today narcissists and psychos and stuff. But in reality, when you look down, you boil down these things, it's so taxing to have to deal with individuals that refuse to not make everything about themselves around times like this. And I love what you said, right, Kim, when you're like, I don't have time, to speak life into people. Yeah, that's literally the sentiment. You just gotta
well,
look out for your mind, protect your peace.
when I became 60, which I guess in your case I'm as old as Methuselah, I decided, you know what? Um, I'm at that stage of life where, if people don't get it, I'm not gonna, try to, you know, say the same thing more than once. And believe me, I have been dealing with toxic people. Okay, well, whether it been toxic clients or toxic co-workers, or even, but to me, the most toxic people sometimes are union reps, and particularly some of them that just, oh, good grief, they just love to eat at your nerve. And in fact,
How many people, Jose,
you
how
got
many people have you canceled their food stamps this week alone because they were rude? You're like, oh, if you keep talking to me like that, you ain't gonna have no money for that honey glazed ham. Check your attitude.
No,
Yeah, you tell them
I'm more.
you gotta tell them shake your attitude, or you're gonna be shaking salt on a can of spam for this holiday.
Do you want to end up at the soup kitchen? With just one button, keep talking. One button and it's all gone.
You want spam and stovetop for Christmas dinner? Because
Ew.
that's what you're gonna be. That's what you're gonna be eating if you keep trying my patience.
Spam with ramen noodles. That's
Oh boy,
gross.
that's
That's
depressing.
Jose. Do you want to get kicked out of the? Do you want to get kicked out of Section 8? One button.
Uh,
Damn.
Denise,
That's
Hey guys.
Jose. Don't test me. It's Christmas,
Denise,
and I might look jolly, and I have
Denise,
this Santa cap, but I can also delete your Christmas.
Denise, I love you
Yeah.
anyway. But there was one union rep that I was dealing with. He had gotten very nasty with me, so bad that I actually sent an email back. If you continue, I'm going to report you for harassment.
Oh
That's how
wow.
bad it was. That's how bad it was getting.
Do you want me to
Okay.
revoke your?
Now,
This is Jose to the other union reps. Do you want me to revoke your health care? Do you want me to reject your application for 2023 healthcare? Do you want me to play with your dental? Just one click. Keep talking.
Well, somebody has a lot of power.
okay, first of all, I don't have that much power as a welfare fund trustee.
Mhm.
Mhm.
However, whenever a member complaining about the decision that the welfare fund disagrees with, their final recourse are the welfare fund trustees, which is basically people like myself.
You see? Do you want to go back to the multi-desk instead of your cubicle? One button. One button and the conditions come back. That's Jose. I want to enjoy Christmas, but you're making it difficult.
Denise, they're gonna tell you, you know what? Meet me in the parking lot. Meet me in the
Oh,
parking lot.
oh, damn. It's gonna be like that.
You done messed up my Section 8 and I'm eating spam and stovetop. You know what? I'm gonna be waiting on you outside. I ain't got nothing to lose. I ain't got nothing to lose.
No, and then the union reps, he took my dental.
Oh, you're gonna have a mob after you, Jose.
This is a funny story. Okay, we had one of those virtual. What we had was a virtual um, request meeting with some of the trustees because there was a member who disagreed with the decision that the welfare fund made, and then we was approached about it, and we still upheld the decision. So this person had a virtual presentation to the trustees. So basically, this person had to submit their evidence to see why we should overturn their decision. The problem was this person was out there some cafeteria. There's a whole bunch of backup noise in the background, and it's like, excuse me, that you do understand that you're speaking to the trustees, okay? This is not like Burger King or whatever, and we are the ones that make a determination whether they're going to say yay or nay. So after that
You
virtual
see that he
presentation,
has that power. You see that he has that power.
now 2.5 years ago, I had a legal consultation with one of the attorneys from our union. Now, the attorney actually had some technical issues, and I was trying to assist him. You know what the attorney did? And please pardon my French. The attorney said to me, "Fuck you."
Damn. Damn, that's like that's not very professional.
My God,
Oh,
I'm
damn.
weak.
That's when you should have told him. That's when you should have told him. No, fuck you.
Damn.
No,
That's
no,
true.
no, 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 no,
Oh,
no,
they're gonna
no,
squabble.
I did something better.
What did you
I
do?
actually made a phone call on speed dial to the welfare fund using her cell phone, and I made my complaints clear. And I actually sent an email for filing a complaint against the attorney.
Oh wow, he played
You know
his
what's
dental.
okay? Now you know what's the funny thing about the whole thing? The law firm that this lawyer represented knew I was a welfare fund trustee. So technically, he was cursing out a member of the administration. Because technically, that's why I am. I don't like to puff out my chest, but technically, that's why I am. So then, I got a phone call from the person who's in charge of the law firm. Now, mind you, the law firm is aware that I'm a welfare fund trustee. I'm not just a member; I'm a trustee. And then the head of the law firm apologized. And as a result, that attorney was not allowed to take any more intakes.
You see,
Okay,
he
now
was
I
like,
could have
listen.
cursed him out.
He was like, listen to me, you satanic elf. Now I'm gonna play with everything that you, everything that you have. I'm coming for everything. Okay, everything. You
See,
mess
okay,
with the wrong person.
Damn. Damn, it got dramatic. Got dramatic
Yeah.
there.
Jose's a full-blown Karen. We know that for a fact. He's always gonna call the manager.
He's a male Karen. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah, he's a Kirk. A Kirk. He's always gonna call the manager. We know this.
Jose, really,
yeah.
you're one of those that are quick to say, let me talk to your manager,
Yeah.
or your boss or whatever.
I want to
No,
talk to the
no.
manager. That's
Okay.
how Jose needs a teacher that says that.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I think the point that you two missing is that this attorney acted very unprofessional. Okay. And if that attorney had the nerve to curse up someone who's a welfare fund trustee, technically part of the administration, he's not going to have a problem cursing out a regular member.
But those are not you. You should not care about other members.
Okay,
You should have tell him. You should have tell him "F you back."
Okay, but you know what? That's not. That's the nature of my position. My role is to care. My role is to care about the members, and in fact, I remember another time I had an appointment for a dental in our dental facility, and then I've called to confirm, and then the day came. Oh, you cannot be seen because the dentist that was scheduled to see left, and so you cannot be seen by another dentist. So what I didn't argue. I just went. I made a phone call to the associate administrator of the welfare fund, and I made my concerns known, and that the dental facility should have the members' contact numbers. To make sure things like this will happen. And oh, by the way, I'll be bringing this topic up at our next meeting, which I did.
Jesus Christ. You see what I'm telling you?
Well, damn.
Do you see what I'm telling you? He's a Karen. He's a
So that
Karen.
was happening during the holidays, Jose? In keeping with the subject?
No.
Okay.
Actually has nothing to do with the subject. The subject is how to bring sanity to the holidays.
that's
So
what
we
I'm
were
saying.
talking. So we kind of.
No, that's what I'm saying. That maybe that story
Go ahead, Ramon.
that you were saying had something to do with the holidays. It was an incident that happened during the holidays with some Karen, with some male Karen that wanted to give you shit. Mm.
No,
Okay,
no.
gotcha.
But contrary to what my beloved dear cyber daughter is, I'm not a mere Karen. I just expect to be treated properly. That's all.
Mhm.
Oh, come on.
I mean, just as I'm easy to complain, I'm just as easy to compliment.
Really?
Yes.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I don't know
Okay.
about that, especially on Christmas. Don't ruin my
Okay.
Christmas.
Well, you're putting on the Grinch voice or something.
Yeah, that's him.
No, you know me better than that.
Jesus.
Do you still love me though?
Of course, but we know you're a Karen though.
Yeah, I mean, with love, you can tell the truth.
I will not say that.
Don't be in denial, Jose. We know,
Yeah.
we know.
I mean, look, I just have high expectations. That's all.
Oh, you have high standards. Oh my. Well, good,
No,
good.
but
That's good.
yeah, no, but I've gone out of my way. Whenever people done a great job, I would say, you all of you did an outstanding job. All of you.
All right.
Hmm.
But so Ramon, how do you what things you do to try to limit your stress during the holiday season? Because I know this season is going to be it's different, for the reasons that that we are aware of.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Well, I want this year to be over with because I thought that 2020 was bad, but this one has been worse. This one has been worse, and I'm ready for it to be over. I mean, it's just I'm gonna be dealing with grief. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
dealing with grief. I'm gonna even dealing with a lot more grief. It's gonna be more difficult because of the time of the year. But that's all I can do. That's all I can do. Trying
yeah,
to. It's one of those painful reminders of how short life is.
yeah,
But I really don't want to don't want to think too much about that because I'm just gonna depress myself. I don't want that.
okay.
So
Well, on a happier note, so
yes.
far this year I've gained 150 subs.
Okay, you're just rubbing it in, huh? You're just rubbing it in. I mean,
If
in
we're
the
gonna
last
talk
like
about that, this year alone, I have gained 328 subs.
nice, nice, nice. Very
Well,
well. Very,
you know what,
very well.
Denise? You know what,
What?
Denise? A huge shout out to you for all the success that you
Yeah.
have
Thank you
with your
very
channel.
much.
I'm not the least bit jealous.
No, of course,
I'm
no,
happy.
but I mean, it will happen to every one of us. We just have to keep putting content out.
Yeah, I have to be
Yeah.
more consistent because I'm only gaining like like 3 subscribers a month or something like that. I mean,
Really?
that's not I'm not doing it's not going anywhere. So I do have to be more consistent. I mean, that last one that was fun. I need to find more subjects like that so we can just have a good laugh or something.
Oh my God, J Lo.
Hmm.
Jesus
Well,
Christ.
tomorrow night's stream, I'm going to be talking about our friends, the mentally and intellectually challenged.
Didn't you already talked about it? Didn't you already touch about that?
That's his favorite. Those are his favorite people. He loves them.
Okay. I see. I see. All right.
No, but
Well,
I mean, look,
you got
I mean,
fans. Those are your fans. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, as long as they just remind them to like, share, and subscribe. Keep telling them that. I mean, you got your fans checking you out.
well, I have one that keeps saying, I have one that keeps saying that my channel is insignificant.
Oh, they used to tell me that. I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Don't pay
Mm-hmm.
attention
Oh
to
yes.
that.
No, please. All they're doing is just giving me free press.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's helping you. The more they hate, the more subs you get.
Yeah. They're helping
Exactly.
you out. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. But hopefully by the end of the year I can get to 200 subs. That would be like a big achievement for me.
You're
Mm.
almost there, no?
Yes, I have 189.
Oh yeah, you're almost there. You're at 11. Come on, let's get
Yeah.
the subs up for Jose. Only 11. Bring your friends, your families, everyone out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So how about you?
Denise,
Then? You're gonna be doing something soon, or maybe because of what it is, you would rather postpone.
I'm postponing based on how I feel.
Okay.
So it's because it's been crazy for me.
No, I can imagine. I
Yeah.
can.
So I'm postponing a little bit.
All right.
well, it's it is understandable. Given your situation. Perhaps if you would like to share with the uncommon folk a little bit about your channel.
Well, basically, I mean, I touch on culture and mostly politics, economics, my opinion on those, where we stand as Latinos, sometimes our interactions with other collectives. What we think about other collectives, we debunk certain conspiracies too. It's a little bit of everything, mostly culture, politics, and business, mostly that.
All right.
Hmm. And Ramon, if you'd like to share with the uncommon folk a little bit about your channel.
Well, what is now my main channel that goes by the name that I'm using right now. I'm not making it about a certain subject. Kind of make it about what's going on at the time, at the moment when I'm doing my stream. Maybe there is something on the news that really has caught my eye, and I try to do commentary on it. I mean, I was having a, kind of like an idea for another one, but because it has to do with another demographic, I don't know how to approach it in a way that doesn't seem like I'm just trying to bash. But because I don't, that I hate getting into subjects that have to do with race necessarily. But maybe I could do another video about. I thought about doing something kind of like a part two about the passport bros. Um, but no, I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know yet because I got this very interesting comment on my previous live, and whatever. I mean, I don't respond to trolls, but it's like we're supposed to be so jealous about the passport bros and all. But no, I already mentioned where I stand on that. But will I do another live about that subject? I don't know. But it has to do with whatever it is that's going on at the moment, something of interest. I don't watch much TV, but I try to stay up to date with the news, with what's going on. I mean, like for example, that whole notion that maybe there is a chance that Vladimir Putin might pass away. I mean, that is all that there are
Yeah, I've
rumbles
seen it.
about that because of his health.
Do you
Of his
think he'll pass away though?
uh, this is a former KGB agent, and those guys are
Not to
tough.
be trusted.
Yeah, they're tough as nails. I mean, they don't pass away that easily. we don't know if it's gonna be around for a number for a while longer. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
because
I had two streams. Okay. Actually, I had two streams that, believe it or not, got over 300 views. The first one was why people obsess about being white. That got like about 325 views.
that's the
And then the
thing.
one which was like
People
about,
lie.
yeah. And then the other one is do biracial people and Latinos have common concerns? That has already gotten 300 views, and that was like about a week and a half ago.
Yeah,
That's because people like that type of topic, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, at least for Latinos in the United States, the concerns could be similar. I mean, I don't weigh in on that because of where I'm from. I never had to deal with that. I feel for them. I feel for mixed race people in this country because sometimes they feel like they don't know where to go with it. I mean, what to identify with because it could go either way. It could go
Yeah.
either way for them, but it has to do also with them being accepted in this either or in the group that belongs to one or the other parent. So it should be perfectly fine. It should be perfectly fine for them to be able to be their own group and having their own classification. It's just that legally on the government level, it's not so easy. So
Hmm.
we'll
Yeah.
see.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Now, do anybody else wish to share anything else regarding the topic, or you think, or you think we'll cover everything?
Yeah, I mean, for the recommendation that I will make to people when it comes to keeping one's sanity is like this is like a piece of advice that I will have to apply to myself, and that is not to become too much of a hermit. I mean, and don't stay indoors, cutting oneself away from other people. I'm gonna try to do that, trying to be a little more outgoing while it's still not too cold outside, and go out more, and kind of like trying to do other things, keeping my mind occupied, so that I don't go back to grieving, because that is a bit of a constant. Grieving is hard to avoid. Yeah, and that's what I
Yeah.
would recommend for others, because for other people the holidays can be a bit of a sad time. It is usually a time for reflection, as it should, but for certain people it could be a time where kind of like another year ends, and they get reminders of things from the past that maybe weigh them down emotionally, myself included.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a confession. Um, throughout the length of the stream, I've been connected to a hotspot. I'm trying to rectify the problem with my Wi-Fi going a little jinky, so to speak.
No, it's working fine. It seems it's just that sometimes I don't know if your service provider can help you with the service, so you don't experience those delays, because you get some mad delays. I mean, it's not your fault. It's just that uh, maybe your provider could do something about that to fix that problem.
Hmm. Well, I sure Denise have a couple of interesting comments regarding the Wi-Fi.
No, because I don't want you to get upset. So I'll stay here. I won't say nothing, I promise.
Well,
But
I know it being 2022 is a little difficult to to be using dialogue, to be using standard dialogue. So yeah, but my question to you, Jose, is that can't you connect your computer to your router via an Ethernet connection? I mean, because that could help using a
you know what?
wire.
You know what?
Mhm.
I'll try it for tomorrow's stream and see if that helps. Believe it or not, Denise, I actually got a mother and mother.
Did you change providers? I think that's your problem. It's the provider. It's not even the equipment.
Yeah.
Just
Mhm.
change the provider. Just go to AT&T, buy the bullet. Just get it. Don't get Spectrum. You'll be
Unfortunately,
better.
Yeah. I'll get it.
AT&T.
Mhm.
Okay, unfortunately, AT&T does not provide internet service in my
Okay.
area.
In New York? Wow.
In
They're
my area.
wild.
Well, that's a mess. I mean, they should be
Yeah.
covering where you are. I mean, after all, you're in Parkchester. Shouldn't they
Yeah.
be? Shouldn't they
The
be?
way
Yes.
Ramon said it, Parkchester.
Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah,
you're supposed to
even though I have not
quality. Mhm.
even though I have not seen one mouse in 5 years in Parkchester.
Don't start with that.
That's not true.
Don't start with that. Yeah. You haven't seen one mouse, just like you haven't seen snow, right? You're gonna come us. You're gonna come at us with that cap.
Yeah. He's gonna come at us with that cap.
Okay,
I mean, that is like
okay, look.
isn't there still like a storm, like a winter storm up in Buffalo, and you're telling me that you don't get any of that? Come on, man.
We didn't get any snow. No, we're talking about Buffalo.
You see?
I mean,
You see? Aye, Jose.
He
okay,
knows
could
that
you
he can
imagine
tell
if
us.
I had complete? Could you imagine if I had complete climate control worldwide?
No, we don't want to know. No, don't start because you're
I mean,
Mr. Freeze. I know. You're Mr. Freeze. You want to
I
freeze
mean,
our
I
asses off.
can. I mean, I can make LA go down to 10 degrees.
Okay, but what good will that make? Not a damn thing.
You don't.
Only make our
You
lives
don't
difficult.
sweat. You
But I
don't
mean,
sweat. You don't
you
get
don't
heat
sweat,
stroke.
and that means well, I still need to get my showers, and with that cold, it makes it difficult.
And think about it. You can go outside and roll around and play in the snow and make snow angels, and
Come
you can have
on, Jose.
snow
We have
ice.
talked about it before. That nasty snow, dirty. No, we have talked
No,
about it.
thank you. Yeah, that has a lot of gases from the pollution that New York has.
Yeah.
And you can go to Rockefeller Center and you can go ice skating. Boy, you don't know the fun that you're
I want
missing
to
in the wintertime.
see. But I want to see you at the Rockefeller Center doing all the stuff that you recommend people to do, and
He
posting
won't.
them on here.
He
Yeah,
won't. He won't.
post them here. Post them here.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to post a video of you skating.
Of you walking the walk.
Yeah.
Okay. The problem is
Yeah.
I don't know how the ice skate. I don't know how the ice skate. And
Ah,
Then how will you know that's a pleasant experience and not like a freeze your butt experience type of stuff? Come on now.
but you know one thing I would love to do before I pass away. I would love to spend New Year's Eve in Times Square to watch the ball drop.
Well, there's no time like today.
You're telling me that you've never done that. You've been living in New York all your life and you've never done that.
No.
Come on.
Until
Jose.
this year, I never. Until this year, I never walked in the. I never went to the. I never participated in the Puerto Rican Day Parade. I had never
Mhm.
seen the Thanksgiving Day Parade in person. Okay.
So what's a normal holiday season for you, if you don't mind me asking? Like, what do you do during the holidays? Like, what's your typical New Year's Eve? Like, what do you do? Describe it from morning to midnight.
Okay. Okay. Well, okay. I will get up. Uh, I will get dressed. I will eat breakfast. If it's during the week, I will go to work. I will do whatever it is I need to do. Then I will go home. Um, of course, this is prior to COVID, so I will spend New Year's Eve with my mom. My mom would tell me, go out and spend New Year's Eve with your friends, whatever. And I would say, no, because that means you'll be spending New Year's Eve by yourself. I'm not going to let you do that. Okay, no, 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 it's okay. I mean, we go back and forth. So we'll, watch TV, and then New Year's Eve come, we wish each other Happy New Year. So it's rather ordinary. Now, during COVID, like in 2020, everything was virtual, but it was very um, bittersweet because, first of all, I was not with my family, number one. Number two, my mother had passed away.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then last year, basically, I spent some time with my brother, and then I spent New Year's Eve, the rest of New Year's Eve alone. Now, what I might do this year is I don't know if my union is going to have a New Year's Eve celebration. If that's the case, I might do that and spend it with my union family.
All right. I see.
So you don't go in new adventures in New York.
No.
You have to. How do you expect to have different results if you do the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So in that frame of mind, that perhaps you should experience getting on the subway, and you don't know what type of experience you have getting on the subway or going to New
No,
York.
because I don't. I already got in the subway when I was younger. I just did not like that experience. So I tried to get in a vehicle instead and learn how to drive. You see,
Mm.
Yeah,
I
but you're
like that
missing.
experience.
Yeah, but you're missing the aura of the subway. Okay, and
No,
the hustle and
I saw
bustle.
the aura. I already
Uh,
saw the aura, and I did not like it. Me no likey. I'm good.
no, I've heard many things about the
The
soul.
subway smells like piss
Ugh.
with tobacco.
It does not. It does not smell. It does
It
not smell like
does.
piss.
Yeah, it does. It's just that you got used to that disgusting smell. It smells like piss with tobacco.
Hmm.
Okay. It has a lot
Well,
of homeless crackheads over there.
Hmm.
well, you have
There's a
okay. We
lot
have
of
some
people.
homeless
There's
people
a
there.
lot of
That
people stealing. I mean, it's insane. A lot of stuff happens. If you take the wrong route, you can get sexually assaulted, you can get robbed,
Hmm.
you can get stabbed,
but that could happen
shot.
in any city, though. That could
Not
happen
if
in any
I'm
city,
inside
though.
my vehicle.
Hmm.
You see? That's why I prefer vehicles. Thank you. Because you can only die in a collision. That's it.
Well, you need to spend winter time, Christmas time in Rochester because
Never.
we
It's
have the
never gonna
Christmas
happen.
lights.
It's never gonna happen.
But you don't know what
Christmas.
you're missing.
No, I don't want to find out. I'm good. I don't
I
want
mean,
to find
think
out.
about it. You're literally like 200 or 300 feet away from a Starbucks.
Ugh. No. The weather alone, it's a no for me. I have certain limitations. I am good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, unlike you, because you're a polar bear. I mean,
Yeah.
people like us from the tropics, we can actually be putting our health at risk by being exposed to that cold ass Arctic weather that you like so much. We can't do it. We can't do it. Try and be. Please understand that. I mean, I
Well,
can't breathe cold air too much because I start getting bronchial symptoms. No bullshit, man.
well, you know what Clara has said to me a couple of times? That if she
Again,
comes
she
visit
doesn't
me,
know. She doesn't know how cold it gets.
Look, I here in LA, I need a heater to sleep.
Hmm.
Okay.
why?
And it
Why?
that because it gets really cold and I'm a Caribbean person. So I don't even want to think how she's going to feel when the first gusts of wind start
Hmm.
coming in, or it snows and it's that snow sleeps overnight on the sidewalks, because that's when it really gets cold, like the day after.
Hmm.
It's really bad. And I don't think she's going to, I think she's going to be like, bye.
Yeah.
No, no. You
Yeah,
know
yeah.
what she's
She's
going to do?
probably want
Or
the next plane back to Santo Domingo.
best case scenario, you will have to take her to the emergency room so they
Mm-hmm.
can warm her up. I'm just giving it to you for real, for real. Unless you have a heater in every room, that's what's gonna be. You're gonna
Yeah, it's
spend
really too drastic for her. She could actually catch a.
pneumonia, bronchitis.
Yeah. No, we're being serious right now. I mean, still, all the time that I have been here in the States, when it gets too cold in January, I have to be careful breathing in that cold ass air because it could actually affect me. And she's never been here before, so it could be detrimental to her. You have to be careful. Don't force it. You should have brought it.
Well, I will.
You should have brought it
Well, I
in.
will.
When is she? What date exactly she's going?
We're still waiting on the visa. So it looks like if she's going to come see me, it's most likely going to be sometime next year.
Oh no, wasn't she gonna come in December though?
That
You,
was the idea, but apparently,
you should have made some plans to go see her then.
Yeah, I
If it's
think you should go. I think at this point you should say, "Hey, never mind, I'm coming." Why?
yeah,
Why instead of just staying in boring ass Parkchester for Christmas, you don't go right now online, book a flight with a hotel for a week, and go and spend Christmas over there. Don't say anything to anybody. This is your adventure. Go ahead and have an adventure. It's Christmas.
yeah.
I know it's just I'm just going to miss Christmas time in Rochester, particularly when they're
You're
talking
not
about for
gonna
the
care
first
about
5 years we're going to have a
that.
nice cold.
No, no, no. You're not gonna miss it. What? You're gonna miss having Christmas by yourself in that cold when you can be at the beach in good company.
Exactly. And not only
You
that, having other excitements, if you catch my drift.
seeing something new, being in good company, actually experience in a little bit of the tropics that you have been missing out on.
Wow. Anyway, we should
Don't fight
we
it. You gotta be flexible, Jose. You can't be you're gonna get your neck's gonna get stiff if you keep not being flexible. You gotta be flexible, make it work, and go over there. Buy a ticket right now and go over there.
hmm
And just tell her,
Well,
hey, I'm coming. How many days till Christmas right now? Is it the 7th?
Yeah, today is the
You
7th.
have
So
2 weeks till
actually,
Christmas.
2 weeks from it's 2 weeks from Sunday.
Exactly. So right now, plan it and tell her, I'm coming in 2 weeks. I already purchased my ticket and I'm coming in a week and a half. We're gonna spend Christmas together. This is the resort. We're gonna have fun and
Yeah.
stay the whole week over there. New Year's Eve, spend it over there. Receive the New Year in the DR, and then come back and leave the other Reyes over there in New York. But you don't. You're gonna be alone, depressed, lonely, and sad in New York. Yet another Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah. Do something different. Do it for
Yeah,
yourself.
life's too
I will
short.
do something. I will do
I
something
told you
different.
first
Actually,
you need to live your Friday like I told you.
Yeah.
I hope you really took that into consideration.
Okay.
Go Friday. Ramon, you
to
know
a
that I'm
strip
saying the
club.
truth.
That's what a strip club.
You
Well, bring
gotta
a lot of
go.
people. Bring a lot of
Go.
people. Make them
Just
earn it.
yeah. Catch them all in once and go live your life. It's
Well,
Yeah.
Friday.
well,
And
I'm
you repent Sunday.
I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret.
Hmm.
Um, she made it perfectly clear that when we are together, she wants me to smash her.
But that's one thing.
Okay.
Friday is right around the corner. In 2 days, you could be having a lot of fun. 2 days. Think about that. It's gonna be a hell of a winter. You're not gonna care about snow. That's how good it's going to be. Friday is the day.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't know what to do in a strip club.
It doesn't matter. They will tell you what to do.
It's for them to work. They have to do their thing to earn your singles. I mean, you're not supposed to do anything.
Exactly.
They're supposed to cater to
Your
you.
only job, your only job is to not give them away easily. Make them work for it. That's it.
Yeah, they have to earn them. They have to earn the singles. Yeah.
Would you believe I never had a lap dance in my life?
Nice.
There's always a first
Nice.
time. Friday is 2 days away from
It's
you.
never too late. It's never too late. Actually, you should try. You should give it a try. I mean, you never had that. Then just do it. And yeah, yeah. I'm not a fan of street clubs, but just for the experience.
Yeah, because he has never
That's
had
what I
it
hope you. If you have never seen it, then maybe you should see it. Maybe you should see it. You just have
under your belt. Yeah.
that experience.
Then you
Yeah.
go to a happy ending massage place on another day. You know, you
Well,
start having those
be careful, but
experiences.
you gotta be careful that the place doesn't get raided because sometimes those happy place massages they have undocumented Asians and so that they're under surveillance. So be careful, be careful. But yeah, might as well do that too.
Yeah, you got
Well,
to
yeah,
make a.
you might as well tell me to go get a hooker and just do.
No, I'm just telling you
No, no, no,
experiences that because you don't know that's dirty. You don't know where she has been. What I'm saying is you gotta go and have experiences that you have not had so you can catch up with life. And it's better that you do it when you're still mobile, when you still have some vitality, rather than being 80 and still being in your apartment thinking about, oh my God, I should have lived my life.
Yeah, but that's the thing because you keep leaving it for later and postponing, and then you don't do it, and you'll think back and you regret it. You're gonna have
Yeah.
regret.
You're an old man
Okay.
already, and you
Well,
didn't do this at 30, at 40, at 50. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
well, I mean, I did do something that you guys have never done.
What? You ate snow?
No.
Okay, what? You got into Chocha Beach?
Uh,
No,
Johnny Rich.
no, losing my virginity. No, losing my virginity in a church trip.
Yeah,
then channel that Jose from back in the day and go get your singles and go Friday to the strip club.
Okay.
Go
mhm.
ahead.
Well,
You don't even have to say nothing. You just go ahead and just be your nervous self. I don't care what you do. Just take your singles, go over there, live your life. Thank us later.
okay. Well, on that note, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start to wrap this up because I mean this is the type of stuff that we can discuss in the backstage if we're going to have
Yeah,
a backstage.
that applies not only to you. That applies for every person that doesn't have significant others, that tend to be depressed during the holidays, that are probably sad because it's another year of disappointment, or that they want to try something different and don't know what to do. It's time to go out there and live life. And life happens outside your home, not inside.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might as well. You might as well live a little.
Yeah.
Okay.
Live a little.
Well,
And another
I
thing,
plan.
don't eat through your problems. Go and socialize.
Okay.
Yeah.
And not only that,
It's
you're
something
gonna feel
I'm
special.
gonna
Think
try.
about it.
Definitely gonna try to do.
You're gonna feel special. You're gonna feel good. Go over there, have fun. I've never seen a man saying, "Oh my god, I
Mhm.
hated this strip club."
No man says that.
No man has ever said that. So there must be something good happening over there. Go over there
Yeah.
and have fun.
Yeah. Might as well.
Okay.
For real. Might as well.
Well,
Hmm.
on that note, we're going to start to wrap this up. It was a very interesting stream. We discussed everything from trying to bring sanity to the holidays, to me possibly getting laid going to a strip club. I mean, I think this is something, but
That's
it's
something you
okay.
should do. Yeah, you
We
know what I would do if I was you? I would put
okay.
a poll on your community tab. Should I go to the strip club this Friday? And let's see what your public says.
Yeah. Your audience will be all like what? 189?
Yeah.
189 votes. Yes.
Come on
Yeah.
now.
But you
Let's
know
put
what?
that poll in there.
Okay, you know what? I think I'll do that once I figure out how to do the poll, how to do that with my community tab, because I'm still learning how to do things with my community tab. But I do appreciate the fact that I do have one now. Um,
Mhm.
but let's start to wrap this up. I don't know if we're gonna have a backstage. If you can stay for the backstage, if you can, great. If you can't, that's perfectly fine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stop to wrap this up and have final words. So we're gonna start with the person that wants to go to Times Square to watch the ball drop in shorts and chancletas, who wants to go skinny dipping in Coney Island on New Year's Day, who wants to be buried in snow, who who who
Uh,
enjoys going to Alaska in the wintertime, the introvert Boricua.
uh, no, no, don't. Going to Alaska in the middle of the winter, I'll freeze. I'll turn into an ice cube. I don't. I won't risk it. I mean, maybe during the summer. I said that it's nice out there. But once again, Don Jose, I know that came in rather late. I was in the middle of something, and I have to get back to it because that is some. Yeah, that is something that I'm looking into. But I appreciate you letting me be on your panel, and not much else that I can say about the subject that I haven't already already shared. One can keep one's sanity, keeping it busy, keeping it fun, going out. And Jose, uh, maybe you should take Denise's advice. Live a little, live a little. It'll help your sanity. I mean, let the strippers work for your singles. Let them earn it. But basically, that's it. That's it. That's all.
Okay.
That's all I got. And yeah, I'm gonna have to get
Okay.
back
Well,
to it.
okay. Well, thank you very much for stopping by. You know, you're always welcome here. So take care and have a good evening. Now we're going to hear from Denisse Gonzalez and her final thoughts.
Well, basically, thank you, Jose, for having me on. Like I said earlier today on the stream, you know, socialize, prioritize socialization, but with healthy people. You know, people that uplift you. Make that a goal for this Christmas. I'm going to protect my mental space. I'm not going to be taxing my mental health in order for me to have a Christmas and expect that Christmas to still be productive or bring me something nice. And just make most out of it. Have no expectations whatsoever. Just try to enjoy and live in the moment for the most part. That should bring sanity. And instead of just buying brand stuff, and buy simple things, have experiences, and give details to people instead of, or just do favors. Just say, hey, you know what? I don't have the money to buy you a gift, but I'll go to your house and help you finish that little project that you were starting, or I'm going to just help you paint that wall, or, you know, I'm going to help you clean your house or something like that. You know, do stuff that's more wholesome for people rather than just material things. We have enough of those. And with that being said, Jose is going to have his strip club stroll this Friday. He said he's going to create a blog and document it for you guys. And he's going to share his thoughts after it. So Monday, we should be hearing from his strip club venture and how it went down. And if you can help his strip club fund, donate to his Cash App.
Yes, please. No one has agreed me up with a cash app.
Okay, donate to Jose's Cash App so that he can go with more singles to that strip club and have fun.
Okay. Will you be backstage after show, or basically you have to go?
I'm gonna say for a little bit, just for a little bit, like 5-10 minutes at the most.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Well, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be with you. You've been deeply missed here on this platform for reasons, you know, that's understandable. So I'm going to put you in the backstage. We're going to talk briefly. But thank you very much for stopping by.
No problem.
Okay. Now, I'm just going to give you briefly my final words. The whole point was to try to bring some sort of sanity to the holiday season. And I think on that. And the bottom line is just be good to yourself and do what you can within the guidelines, as you know, as far as your limitations is concerned. Tomorrow, I'm going to be discussing regarding the mentally intellectually challenged, a case study. So it's going to be interesting. I will be live tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. That being said, I just want to thank everyone who appear in the chat. I want to thank everyone who appear on the panel. And the fact there's still some people watch the stream, you know, it just shows, you know, you have a lot of love for me. So I just want to say thank you very much. Take care and peace. Be strong.